All right, so it is day one of my ultimate reset. Thanks again for following my journey. I don't know when you'll see this, if you'll see it today, or maybe even 3 months or 3 years from now, from this day that I started my very first 21 Day Fix. I hope it helps in some way, shape, or form. So this morning, first day, I have been sleeping horrible sleeping habits. It's always been a struggle of mine to go to sleep at a decent time. I feel like once the house is quiet, my whole mind and energy is just revived. I get more creative in the evening and all of those things. And I've heard a million times that you're more effective if you wake up in the morning and get your workout in, that kind of thing. And I have tried and tried and tried. I've never been very successful at that. When I'm at my best, I'll go to bed at like 10:30 and I'm waking up at like 6 or 6:30 and I work out around 9 a.m. That's the best I've ever done and the best I've ever felt is whenever I can really be on that schedule. So that's my goal. And honestly, one of the biggest things I want to accomplish from doing the 21 Day Ultimate Reset is to slow down. When you read through the guidebook, which is so important that you read it, and if you're on day one and you kind of skim through it, like I did all the way up until I started last night, I was like, you know what, I better double read this and make sure that I'm not missing anything. Just a simple question on how to mix the mineralize in your water. You know, I had to ask a friend that, and she's like, oh, it's on page 21, and then a trigger went off. I'm like, okay, I apparently have not read enough because I did not see that. So I went back and I really read through it, and I think I'm going to continue reading it. As I start to feel certain ways, I'm going to go back and read, you know, like your mood and all those things, and remind myself what's going on with my body. And the more I read about this in more detail, the more I read about this in detail, it was, you know, it's being more aware of what you're doing. I mean, just the detail of how to chew your food and notice how it hits your mouth and how, you know, your taste buds and just being more aware. And in general, as a population, everyone is so fast-paced and does everything so quickly. They're always on the go. I really think that this is going to help me way more than a cleanse or a detox because I have ADD. You know, is I think I don't take any medicine for it, and I'm not. I don't have like a doctor's prescription, or I've never been diagnosed there. I've never been diagnosed ADD, but I have a really hard time focusing. And when I did the Whole30 last year at the beginning of the year, I wanted to see if certain foods were bothering me. So I did the Whole30 and I loved that journey, and I had such a huge sense of clarity. And through all the reviews of the Ultimate Reset, that's one thing that I heard is it's clarity. It's like a fog lifted. And so I remember loving the way I felt when I had eliminated all the foods that bothered my system, and I didn't even know it. I have eliminated foods because I thought they were unhealthy, but I never ever thought about eliminating foods because they just didn't, my body didn't like it. You know, you could even have a slight allergy to something that you never know, but if you continue eating just a little bit of it your whole life, you probably don't realize how it's making you feel because you're used to feeling that way. So you just never know how good you feel until you challenge your body and give it what it wants. And you don't know what it wants unless you remove everything and kind of slowly add it back in. So the ultimate reset is very similar to that. I think it's, you know, week one, we're allowed to have some proteins like eggs, and that's what I'm going to have today. But right now, I set an alarm on my phone, which I highly suggest. And I set an alarm on my phone for each time I'm supposed to take a supplement or vitamin, however you want to put it. And so it's 10 o'clock, and I'm going to take this. Yes, I have to have water in my mouth before I take the medicine, because if I feel it touch my mouth at all, it will come right back up. So I'm going to finish this. It says 10 ounces, I believe, 10 to something ounces of water. And this is distilled water. I bought 7 gallons of water one for each day, and then I added 1/4 teaspoon of this mineralized to my gallon. That way I don't have to put it in each drink. It's in my gallon. I just shook my gallon up, and this is just sea salt. So if you ever run out of this, you just go get yourself some Himalayan sea salt. I spent a little extra money on the sea salt that I bought to season my food, and I got a big one, so that way, even after the Ultimate Reset, I'm going to continue to put a little bit of sea salt in my water, because after reading what it does for you, makes a lot of sense. Maybe I'll share that with you guys sometime. But it's day 1, and I'm about to scramble up some eggs, have a piece of sprouted grain bread, which I haven't had bread in a long time. I've been cheating with other starchy foods, but I haven't really been eating much bread. So I'm going to have that and the toast, and I think a little bit of bowl of fruit. I'll have to go look at my menu. It's all planned out for me, and that's the biggest kicker, is to have it all set out for you and prepped and ready to go. I hope this video helps, and I'll see you again on day 2 or maybe later today. Bye.